Nick, it seems a case of common sense. What you're saying seems reasonably practical, that we don't use a poison because of all of the consequences that can arise from having just poison out there. And we've got an Australian-made product. Foxlights, are they affordable? Any idea of what the price is on those, or what the cost would be to replace the 1080 with the Foxlights?
I actually haven't got a price on those, mate. I know that they're being used in Australia and they're being used in Europe, Africa, USA very successfully, so I assume that it would be a decent price. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine, Nick. It's just, I don't expect you to know. I'm interested, as you can imagine. So, Nick, how do folks get involved if they feel the plight for the dingoes, and indeed all of the other animals that would be affected by this, when the primary source is the fox, but others are being affected? What can they do to help out?
Well, it would be great if everybody would come to outside Parliament House at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, this Saturday. We've got a rally. It's a peaceful rally gathering, and it's a symbolic rally because Parliament's shut. But it's the first national, it's the first capital city in state capital in this state, but every other state is going to follow through over the months coming to raise awareness to get 1080 banned, but also legislate protection for Canis dingo in the creek category, because it's the top land predator and it's listed nationally as an alien in its own homeland, which is insult to intelligence, but also insult to the indigenous.
It's an indigenous animal of Australia, a dingo, right? And we're not aware of dingoes in any other country. They are Australian.
It's listed nationally in status presently as an alien in their own homeland, and it's the greatest travesty you've ever seen.
That's a strange one. Nick, if I'm on a beach and I see what appears to be a dingo or a pack of dingoes, and that word pack is always intimidating, but I see what I think to be a pack of dingoes, can I feel safe and the love that you feel for them, or should I approach with absolute caution?
I just think common sense, and sometimes the two-legged variety don't seem to use that. There's no bad dingo, but they're wild animals, and look, I just think, if you look at the statistics too, instead of sensationalism in the media, which seems to be the way, there's been 8 dingo attacks reported in 200 years, and there's 16,000 domestic dogs in Australia every year.
That's right. It's like we're more afraid of shark attacks than crossing the road, unfortunately.
Look, the top land predator and the top sea predator, they're essential, and they do a job because they're the modulator and the guardian and the protector. But as well as that 1080 super toxin has decimated the dingo, the raptor, the reptile, the quoll, the kookaburra, and it also kills bees and earthworms. And we have to make a change, and we've got to do better. It's disgusting.
Well, I like very much the idea of doing things better, and it's great to meet someone like you, Nick, as we have on many occasions, who has the passion to look after our wonderful native animals. And they live merrily in your home, Nick. Tell us about your dingoes.
Well, I only have one dingo, and she's been used as an ambassador. Her name's Lindy Dingo Papalia, and we've been to 126 schools, and she's presented 643 dingo awareness presentations to the public in Hyde Park. But she's made people have made films around her, and she's also presented to our Mary, but their princess in Copenhagen, and hangs on the wall of a palace in Copenhagen asking for the protection of her kind. But also she was presented to the Japanese in their papers, and hundreds of millions of people have seen her as an ambassador for the dingo species, like the face of all dingoes. So that's what I use. But also, a dingo in the home is nothing to do with what we're talking about with the dingoes in the wild, because a domesticated dingo is very different to a wild animal living in the Australian landscape.
Nick, question without notice. Can anyone have a dingo as a pet instead of a dog? And even if they could, how would you feel about that?
I have had a great life experience sharing my life and a home with a pet dingo. It's been an amazing thing. With education, it is brilliant. And with education, without discrimination, that's knowledge, and people can use wisdom to have a great outcome. Dingoes make fantastic pets if you've got a containment yard so they don't escape, because they're escape artists.
Are they?
With attention and exercise every day, I would say it was a great idea, because I've had the experience and legacy to prove it so.
Wonderful. Good on you, Nick. Let's just make sure we're aware of the details. So the protest, a peaceful protest at Parliament House, even though it'll be closed, it's it's a protest all the same on Saturday, 10 a.m.
That's right, for 2 hours until noon, and it's the first of a national campaign in every state, and we're going to do it, and we're going to get the numbers, and we're going to get the conscience of this country to wake up and make the necessary changes. Because, look, what you talked about earlier with 1080, and I've mentioned it too, the disinformation and ignorance promoted without accountability in the ranks of Parliament, it has to change. We had the former Commissioner, Gregory Andrews, come forth 2018 and say in broadcast film that 1080 was in every cup of tea and 1080 was as dangerous as hair shampoo. Now, that's criminal, and that guy should have been arrested for such comments. It's wrong, and it's dangerous. We have to raise the awareness, and we've got to make the changes because it's the duty of care, and that's all it is, basic duty of care.
Good to talk to you, Nick, and good luck on Saturday. Thanks,
John, for your help. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Let us know how you get on. Nick Papalia joining us. He's all about the dingoes. I've met Nick on a few occasions and his beautiful dingoes. He has one now. And I think it's a great thing to do, to stand up for what you believe in. You'd think the random act of just putting out poison and saying, well, here's our main objective. Well, if others get it, so what? But the idea that it could fundamentally change the structure of a dingo pack. So you've got the dingo. You may say, well, if you don't like dingoes, you may say, well, what's it matter if some die? But the thing is, it's not just some dying and there being a few less. It's some dying, a few less, and then those few less going crazy and causing havoc. You could almost imagine if you said, well, we'll take the parents away. Now the children say, well, we don't know what to do, so we'll just go crazy because there's no one to give us any guidance, and off they go. And then there's just more crazy. And that's the impact that Nick's explaining to us this morning. And you can help out by going along to Parliament House Saturday, 10 a.m. and join in the rally.